I've always had trouble sleeping at night. Noises have disturbed me my whole life. I found out years ago that I have hypersensitive hearing, picking up all sorts of background noises. They couldn't fix it, only recommend the obvious techniques to mask the problem. Not that I hadn't tried these already. Earmuffs, listening to music, and even things like meditation. None of it worked. In fact, it seemed to make it worse. It made her more desperate. I hear her most nights. No one else can. Why does she only come to me? There's always the dread of lying there each night in the dark silence, anticipating when she'll come and when I will hear her again. She usually likes to wait until I'm drifting to sleep so that I jump back to my senses in fright to the sound of her there. Most of the time, it begins with a faint crying. She tells me that she wants to make it end. I know she's getting closer to getting me, and some nights I can feel her cold breath in my ear. I can sense when she's lying close beside me in the darkness, staring at me, and sometimes she whispers things like, "It's only me," right into my ear. She's toying with me, like a cat does to a helpless insect before killing it. The thing is, I could never see her, but it slowly felt like she was becoming more real. The doctor later informed me that I suffer from schizophrenia. I've been taking medication for a long time, but it wasn't really working. It just made me feel more helpless. It was difficult for a girl as young as me to deal with this. At least now I could accept that she wasn't real. It was all in my head, and there was nothing real to be afraid of. That was until last night. Last night, her presence felt more real than ever. I could hear her whisper, feel the air on my neck, and even smell her breath. It was all too realistic to handle. I got so scared that I fell back into my old habit of running through the darkness of the house into my mother's bed to sleep beside her where I felt safe. Now that I was older, I knew she was hoping I'd grown out of this phase, although I'd only stopped doing it because it made her sad, and I didn't want her to be disappointed in me anymore. She was all I had. But if I had the choice, I would be in there beside her every night without fail. I knew my mother had been awoken by me, probably more saddened that I had reverted back to my old ways when she thought the medication had been helping me. But it wasn't helping. I had just lied all this time to keep her happy and let her sleep in peace. I curled up in bed beside her and began to sob quietly. My mom looked uncomfortable from the noise I had made and began stirring under the sheets, so I whispered into her ear, "It's only me." She sat up abruptly, looking anxious. In the darkness, I saw her reach over for her cell phone and begin to dial a number. I noticed on the screen that she was calling the doctor. "The voices I used to hear," she said. "They're back."